Sing 1, 2, 3. I wrote this song about my mic. It went off, and now I'll start over. Am I starting over?
Yep.
Okay. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Quantum Catechesis. I'm Father Joe Krupp, and you're not. And you should thank the Lord for that because I can't turn on a microphone. It's a true story. I'm so happy to be here with you today, but I'm most excited because we get to spend more time with one of my favorite humans, Craig Pohl, superstar action figure, haircut sold separately. Before we get into that, remember, we will be doing question and answer tomorrow, Craig, from a brand new secret location. Are you ready? Right here in the studio. What? Where do I get these skills? I don't know. I've just learned to never question them. Should I look over here now? I don't know.
Whenever you're ready.
I don't know. And then next week, we'll continue our Pope-pourri. So on Wednesday, we went through just the basic idea of different stages of the papacy and its evolution. And then next week, we start with St. Peter. And then I'm going to tell you about some of the crazy popes, some of the fun popes, some of the ridiculous home run hitter popes, and some of the popes who are undoubtedly burning in hell for all eternity. Two of which are related to Craig Pohl. Speaking of Craig Pohl, we are so excited to have him here today. I had my clerics on, and when you walked in like that, I went, yes, Jesus. Because while I love being a priest, more than anything, I don't love priest clothes. I love cassock. Cassock's awesome, but I like this.
What does that say, by the way?
Front toward enemy. Claymore mines? Come on. Okay, so the U.S. Army, you don't know this, are you teasing me?
I'm sorry, I'm sorry.
No, you know so much, I just don't know if you're teasing me.
I don't know that one.
So when the U.S. Army started making these mines called claymores, they looked the same in the front and the back, and it led to some unpleasantness.
Stop.
No, this is true. So, you don't know this either? What the heck? Dad, you know this. So they literally, even today, 40 years after they were invented, whenever the Army issues a claymore mine, one side of it says, front toward enemy. Is that glorious? You didn't know this.
I didn't know. Now,
I'll bet your pa does.
Now the folks out at home, can they read that, or is it backwards?
No.
Okay.
It says front toward enemy, because I think that's hilarious.
The story is fantastic.
Isn't it great?
Now, do you want to know the story behind this?
Yeah, let her rip, big
So
dad.
you're a padre.
Yes,
right?
I'm an unwed father.
Yes. You're a padre. I wore this thinking, Padres. I'm all about Padres. But and I don't want to get negative here, but are you going to try and get them to cancel this name because it's offensive to you?
Yes. Yes? No.
No. We like the name.
They're honoring you.
They're honoring you.
No, I'm all in.
I just don't want this one to drop off just like all the others out there.
Well, but in defense of the cancellations, Tony Gwynn was one of the greatest hitters of all time, and he played for the Padres. See how it connects?
Well, it's a great point.
Yeah. If you ever want to see the craziest baseball stats, and I mean this, guys, if Tony Gwynn wins an award for nothing else, it is generally acknowledged among baseball fanatics that he has the most bizarre stat line. So if you get a chance, guys, type into Google unusual Tony Gwynn stats, and you'll see he's he's certainly one of the top 10 hitters of all time. But he played for a bad team, so nobody noticed him. But he has all these bizarre, first pitch strike count is one of the lowest in history. I could go on. Yeah, I know. He's insane. Tom Glavine, one of the greatest pitchers of that age, said, I never wanted to pitch to Tony Gwynn. And Tony Gwynn has a better... Okay, I'm going to stop. Unusual Tony Gwynn stats. GWYNN. Thanks for tuning in.
Can I just say...
Oh, we're going to do a show now?
Well, your first intro...
Yeah.
It was such a God thing that one did not air.
Yeah, I agree.
They could see you, which is bad enough, but they couldn't hear you, which...
That's true.
It was an awful wreck. And I just thought to myself, where is this going? And then
How
all
is
of a
he
sudden,
ever going to recover?
God was like, I didn't turn on his mic.
Yes. No, God turned off my mic. I turned that son of a gun on. And God was like, no, it's bad enough those poor people watch him. But I don't want them to have to hear him.
Let's just stop for a minute.
Yeah.
Thank God for this.
What a loving father.
I would like you guys to tell all of your viewers what you guys were doing before the show.
Really? Should we talk about this? We can't get obsessed, though, and we're both obsessive. This is a problem. So, do you want to start it, or am I?
Okay, Allison, I'm sorry.
Allison, I love you. Not as much as Craig, and not in the same way as Craig.
I'm sorry. I'm going to share this. So I had a major surgery that was going to take me out for a while last year, almost a year ago.
I think it's when they tried to put a soul inside of you, right?
Yeah, it's...
Yeah.
It
did not go well.
No, thanks. I just really got nothing there. So
Craig is an automaton.
Regardless of that, the recovery process was very long. They looked everywhere. They couldn't find a spot for it. So
This is, I have to interrupt. We'll do this for 2 hours if we're not careful.
Okay.
He makes me laugh harder than anybody, and I think I make you laugh.
I actually had this thought for the first time in my life years ago. Is it possible for someone to die from laughing? Because I couldn't catch my breath. I thought I was going to have a heart event.
Yes.
That's what they're called now?
Yes.
Heart events.
Where they tried to put a soul in your body?
No, that's
okay,
that's different completely.
Yeah.
No, so I knew I was going to have a long recovery period, and I knew that my brain was going to go crazy if I didn't have something new to discover.
Yeah.
And this is not in any way a promotion of this. This is just more of an acknowledgement of, if you call now, we'll throw in a few extra knives. I don't know. Is that what I was supposed to say?
A toaster oven signed by Zuckerberg.
Yeah. It's an Oculus Quest 2. My wife was so gracious to let me get one. The virtual reality headset and all this stuff. And I told Father Joe, you're gonna want this and all this stuff. And he's like, yeah. Just let's get this over with.
It's not a book. I don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He put it on his head just before the show, and he said, I'm buying one right now. And he took the headset off. And he did, in fact, buy one. I've got a picture of him doing it.
This is a true story. This is a true story. I gotta say, he was like, hey, this electronic. I'm like, bro, it ain't a book. It's not baseball. And in my defense, I discerned for a solid 0.7 seconds. So what is it? It is a headset that you put on, I was gonna say your head, but I think that part was clear when I said headset.
It looks like this.
Yeah. Is it still set to my gargantuan melon?
Yeah.
Okay. I have a huge head.
Oh yeah. Oh, no disputing that.
It's like Sputnik.
Yeah.
It's spherical.
It's got its own
but
orbitals.
pointy at parts. Yes. Look at the size of that boy's head.
It's
Whoa.
huge.
I put this on and I went fishing.
And this is what one of the controllers
This is
looks
so
like.
crazy. Okay, anyway, I can't.
Okay.
I'll never stop.
Okay. Good.
This is sensory crack. And it wasn't even running around a place shooting bad guys. We were on a boat fishing.
It's true. Allison, I'm so sorry. I'm embarrassed for me. I gotta tell you.
Why are you embarrassed? This was awesome.
Well, that's the thing. It's
I'm gonna
like,
take my dad fishing.
that's what I'm trying to convince people. Like, when I was reluctant to tell Allison I want to get a virtual reality headset. Well, of course, because there's sort of this stigma, like, oh, you want to go back living in your parents' basement and play video games. And
Yes.
I'm kind of like, well, yes.
Yeah.
As though there's a
does that?
problem with that.
Right.
So, and no offense if you're in your mom and dad's basement.
Hey, just
playing
remember,
video
when
games.
Jesus moved out of his mom's house, he was dead 3 years later.
Great point.
Thank you.
Great point.
Do we follow the Savior or not?
You want to live, stay home.
Yeah. In the van, down by the river.
Anyway,
So-
I'm so sorry. But yes,
I'm not.
it's cooler than what any words can describe. Like, I can't sell you on it through words. Go try it out.
He
It
tried
is
selling
insane.
him. Seriously, I'm worried. You're like, bro, you got to experience this. I'm like, Craig, I don't care. I care. I don't care about Craig now. Do you know what I mean?
It took my place, basically.
I was willing and able to just get his credit card and buy one for myself. And that way it cost me nothing. Those are my favorite kind of things. Was that out loud?
I didn't know you bought that with my credit card.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Is that what I'm supposed to say? But but on the good side, it didn't cost me anything.
Yeah.
Praise God. And you know, if your kid's got to skip a meal, I'm okay with that. I have my headset. Wouldn't it be cool if I like became addicted, obsessed before I got it? Like when I start, like, you
We're
know,
approaching that.
Be like, you know, I gotta clean my VR, you know.
Well, I'll be honest, before I showed it to him, I did say I take no responsibility for what happens from this point forward. I just want to make sure
True
that
story.
disclaimer is
a
out
true
there
story.
because it's true. I mean, it can become all-encompassing. Now, I do it for the socializing. I'm serious. I don't play it unless other people are playing it. And sometimes I'll check in to see if other people are playing it, and sometimes I just get wrapped into a game.
Sure.
Even if no one's
Are
there.
there shooting games?
There are shooting games. lots
Okay,
of
I'm
them.
gonna have a
Somebody
problem.
says their kids are obsessed with Beat Saber.
Yes, Beat Saber is, from what I understand, the gold standard of VR games.
Is it on that thing?
It's on that thing. And yeah,
Well, it just sounds like something where I have a sword and start hacking at
that's
people.
exactly what it is.
Praise
Oh,
Jesus.
Saber. Okay.
Beat
you know what
Saber,
I'll
and
do?
you are literally slashing at things as music comes toward you.
Okay, I have real swords.
Oh yeah,
What if I held one of those?
No, you have.
yeah. Just create
So-
your guardian so no one else comes
I
in
have
that
an
space.
angel, thank you. I don't need your help.
Are we going off track? Everyone's like, okay, come on.
Oh, are
let's
people?
talk.
I'm so sorry. Guys, we love you. Craig is a bad person.
Father Joe is shoeless again.
Shoot!
No,
This
you're
is the
good.
second. Is how many times does he do this with everybody or just
no,
me?
Just you
Well, why did I take my shoes off?
to play the game. You're good.
Dude, I'm dead serious. I think if we go look, I think I took them off because I was on a boat.
You might have actually.
That is creepy. That's creepy.
Actually, Facebook
My little
just
brain, like, remember I started, whoa, because I was on a boat.
Facebook just updated their Oculus
'Cause I bought
account
it.
saying that like 400 people have just purchased.
I'm
It's
one
the
of them.
one with the largest purchase. Hold on. Yep.
I'm one of
largest single. I don't know what's going on here.
I'm one of
but
them.
You
I
think
just
this?
bought
You
one.
think this has anything to do with it?
Do
Just
you
so many
people have been pointing and clicking? So anyway, we're sorry, but not. And we should probably get into whatever, like, I don't know, God or Jesus or something. Did you not eat your hot dog? Oh, no, I see it. Okay. I thought, no, the thing behind it, which is a picture of a chip, but it was lined up with the bun perfectly, what it looked like.
Ooh, yes.
Because of VR.
You did get your fix today of hot dog stand.
Oh, hot dog stand. I love hot dog stand. It's like God, family, the Tigers hot dog stand. And MSU squeezed somewhere in there too. Okay. So here we are with Craig Pohl. Please submit your questions if you have them. If you didn't watch the first time he was here, that's probably why you're watching this one.
Well played, old
Yes. Well, my man, as a VR veteran, I caught 2 fish.
Yeah.
I caught 2 fish.
Guys,
on
I
VR.
apologize for this. This is my fault. We
Yeah.
were supposed to have an actual show today, but this has officially turned
you guys
into.
need to quit screwing around so I can focus. So you may remember last time Craig was here, you shared some of your testimony.
I did, yes.
Now, only if you want to. I meant to ask you before. Do we want to get into like post high school at all, or do you want to? Okay.
Sure,
So
yeah.
when we last left you, right? What we know is that you're now have a title this long.
Yep.
And I would try to repeat it, but my head.
Oh, I get
All I
that.
can think about is that I caught 2 fish.
Yeah.
About 10 minutes ago.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
Oh, longer than
it's
that.
my
We've been
bad.
screwing around for a while.
For a long time.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
You're very again. You're going to get a T-shirt for making it through the first 15 minutes of this.
Yeah.
Anyone
brought to you by
just-
VR.
Yeah. Zuckerberg.
Zuckerberg. Wouldn't that be cool? Seriously, like all of a sudden my show started to be all about Zuckerberg, and my eyes were always like this, and I didn't have any inflection.
I don't get what you mean.
So, once you, now we know that you are bringing people to Jesus, you're helping us spread the faith, you're teaching us how to share the faith as priests, as laity, but there was a lot in your life that happened between high school and this life now. Do you want to share any of that?
Do
with
I?
us? Okay.
So as I often say about evangelization, it's not something that's choreographed. It's not something that you know. The heart of evangelization is not necessarily.
Sorry, I panicked. Okay.
Actually, I think the beginning of this show is actually a really good example of evangelization. You talk about what you love. Period.
It's a great point.
You try to get people to be a part of something that you love. That's it.
Yeah.
You want to teach someone to evangelize? Bring them into encounter with Jesus Christ. Have them fall in love with Jesus Christ, and they'll talk about him. You notice I mentioned my wife. I'm going to evangelize you about my wife. That's for you, Allie. I'm going to no.
What?
Just not you. Not you.
But her. Sorry, Mr. Paul.
Okay. No. So, I can see the monitor when you do that.
Dang. Thought I was
So the
clever.
point is, you talk about what you love. That's evangelization. And it comes out in every circumstance. So it's not like, oh, I have to kind of squeeze this in because it's my duty, you know, as a Christian. It's out of love and concern for the other person and out of sharing something that you love, it becomes a fluid thing. And so all that to say, you were saying, well, what happened between, you know, high school and this evangelization thing? I got married to the most wonderful woman. We've had 6 children.
And I love those little freaks.
They're it just feels like we're at a point where it just keeps getting better and better, and they just keep getting better and better. Yeah. There was a point where it was actually in the opposite direction.
Oh, I feel you.
I don't know.
I feel you.
For some reason, you go through these phases.
Oh,
and
sure.
Oh dear, I don't know if we're gonna. Be okay.
Excuse me for jumping in, bro, but honestly, I was at the hospital one time, and I was in a low place. Not like awful darkness, but just, boy, I was in a rough stretch.
But you checked yourself in because you were so low.
Right. But. No, I remember, like, it was a time where, this was, gosh, at least 15 years ago. I was still fairly new as a priest, under 10 years. I was at the hospital, happy, but also in a rough go. And I saw the heart monitor. And I'm not kidding, clear as a bell. I was like, well, that's life. Right? That's what life looks like. High and low. The flat line that I would pine for before that, like I would long for, just nothing for a little while. Well, it's like, no, that's death, right? That the flat line is death. That the high and the low, that's where Jesus is, in the resurrection and in the crucifixion, and the incarnation and the slaughter of the innocents. He's there.
Can I just, why am I the director of evangelization when we got this going on?
Oh, bro, you are so, brother, your love for the Lord and your goodness are what give you everything we need. I thank the Lord for you. I just was telling Dad yesterday, people can say whatever they want about our beautiful bishop. And I know some of these publications take shots at him. He transformed our diocese by hiring the best people. And you're one of them.
Thank you.
Lisa Kudis, Mike Murray, George Lando. I mean, we could do this all day. Alan Olson. You and I could go on. And you're one of those cats. You know, I'm sorry to get whatever, but never doubt your value. Not for a second. I praise the Lord for you.
Well, I feel like I'm standing in the shadow right now because what you just said is fascinating, because that like we all hope for just that sort of flat line. We all hope that it'll just stop for a little bit, you know. But you're so right. It reminds me of this article I read on Facebook, which probably means it's exactly true.
Oh yeah, as long as it's medical.
Yeah,
if it's about medical or political,
yes.
It is dead accurate.
Yep. So it had a little fact checker down there. If you want more information on this, go to our fact checker.
And you
site.
can trust the fact checkers.
Yeah. So I was extremely grateful for Facebook letting me read this. But it was called the Universe 25 experiment. Have you heard of this?
No.
They set up this environment for mice that everything was taken care of for them. They said it made them extremely comfortable. They had all their food and water, and they had all their comforts and all this. And they watched what happened over time, where they, at the very beginning, they were really, really prosperous, and not prosperous. They were really
prolific, having a lot of squigglies.
Having a lot of little squigglies.
Yeah.
Then it started kind of getting a little weird. Then you had like this weird social dynamic. You'll have to read it. Look up Universe 25. I can't get the whole thing.
Can you help me remember?
Universe 25.
Then it got to the point where I think they only... Eventually, they killed themselves.
Yep.
It got down to one mouse who killed the last mouse.
Yeah.
And that one eventually died too, obviously, because there's no more progeny. He did this experiment 25 times with the exact same result every time. Everything was provided for these mice.
Yeah.
And they were so comfortable, they lost purpose. You can read the little excerpt. It's really fascinating. And 25 out of 25 times, that population destroyed itself.
Well, and what's fascinating, bro, is as much as we pine for the flat line, we were so clearly made to suffer. When I was in Israel, I was talking to a prof there, and he was Israeli. And he said to me, you Americans have to be the only people left in the world who are surprised when bad things happen. He says, over in Israel, we're surprised when good things happen. But you think you're entitled to good things. And I've thought a lot about... there's a lot written right now about the fact of what they call the nuns, N-O-N-E-S, nuns, I think. Do you say nuns or nuns?
Nuns. We actually call them the nuns, yeah.
And what they are is that this generation is the largest number of non-church goers per capita ever in our country. And I'm fascinated, and I'm going to be blunt, and I don't wish to offend anyone unnecessarily. And I want to be clear that I could be wrong. Okay, I want to be super clear. But what struck me was all of the 20 and 30 somethings responded to this with, the church has to change. Why is this happening? Because the church has to change. The church is doing this wrong and that wrong and this wrong and that. The church has always done everything wrong. Right? Look at your history. There's not a point where you go, oh, for a day we were all on the same page. Not one. It never occurred to any of them that they're the problem. Now, to be clear, the church needs to change. Church needs to grow. We need to have a reckoning for what we've aligned ourselves with in American Catholicism. We need to have a reckoning for how we've sold our soul for politics and prosperity, right? There will be a reckoning. But at the same time, what we have to acknowledge is every generation seems to suffer less than the generation before, and they're more miserable. Yeah. But they're now to the point where they can't even diagnose it. Yeah. Excuse how dark this is, but it was because of the gospel last Sunday where I preached on two ideas. Are we the people that bring the mute person to Jesus, right? The dude didn't come to Jesus. They dragged their buddy to Jesus. Or are we the people Jesus has to get the person who needs healing away from, right? He had to pull the person to heal them away from the crowd.
Yeah.
And which one do we fall into? Are we saying just what you said? I love Jesus so much, let me drag you to him. Or are we the people going, Jesus, you're doing it wrong. Jesus, you can't do that. Right? And forgive me for talking so long. But it really is into this Universe 25. Did you say Galaxy 20? What is it?
Universe 25.
Universe 25. What they call suffering. I'm like, really? No, that's just being made fun of. That's all that is.
Yeah.
That's just you getting belittled. And excuse me, that's a suffering, but good Lord.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
No, you're right. That's I think it was really interesting how I won't go into the different phases that actually happened.
Yeah.
But the behavior.
It's unnerving, isn't it?
And basically, it was being posted because the person posting it was like, you can see this happening to our society right now because
We're comfortable.
Yeah, we've just tried to surround ourselves with being comfortable, and it's so fascinating that we're starting to flatline. What you're saying just really connects with that. But speaking of suffering, I can tell you a little bit about my life before I met Allison.
Okay.
So I went to
launch
seminary.
it.
Went to seminary, ended up getting a degree in Catholic studies and philosophy. Worked youth ministry in my hometown for a good chunk of time, 15 years. Taught at Lansing Catholic with you, the glory years. Worked
All the
for
girls were in
Renewal-
love with him. Yes.
the Renewal Ministries time
Yep,
for
that's
a couple
right,
years.
that's right.
I actually did production for a show very similar to this. Back when these
Not
things...
as good.
No, definitely.
I'll tell you, because I don't want Carrie to ask me to bump her pay.
Pay?
Yeah, I'll double it, Carrie.
So, so...
Forgive me, yeah.
where was... Oh, yeah.
You were working with Renewal Ministries.
Then at Renewal Ministries, what I really, really am grateful for my time there, working under Ralph Martin, Peter Herbeck, Sister Ann Shields, just rock
Ann Shields.
stars.
Yes.
And one of the things that I did there was I got to travel a lot with Peter and Ralph, and we got to go and do missions and talks about the new evangelization. And it occurred to me at one point that I love talking about it, but I want to do it. I want to get my hands dirty, right? And so now that is, talking about it is a level of doing it.
Oh, praise the Lord,
But
sure.
there was a lot of stuff that we were talking about that actually needed to happen in the parish. And so I wanted to try it. So I got a couple of parishes to say, let's try this.
Yeah.
And so we started doing the things that we were talking about at Renewal Ministries. And that's when, my path kind of really galvanized in that one area of evangelization. And I love it. And I've been able to identify from the very beginning, evangelization is it's what I do.
Yes.
It's real. I just love it. Now, it's the same thing with like, if I find something great in my life, like the Oculus Quest 2,
Sure.
which you can order by just calling that number at the bottom of the screen.
Zuckerberg. Sorry, I don't know.
Be sure
what
to use reference code Craig Pohl.
Superstar action figure.
Hair not included.
Shoes sold separately.
Thanks. Okay. But I want to tell people about stuff like that that I love, and I think that's part of the reason God sort of works with me the way He does, because I just can't keep it shut. I got to tell people about the things that I'm thinking about right now, the things I'm excited about.
Well, and as viewers don't know, and I hope that's okay to say. Seriously, stop me. I have been blessed to know you for over 20 years, and I got to. Forgive me, watch you in the dark years, where it was like, Lord, where do you want me? And you were sincerely imploring the Lord, show me where you want me. And for those watching, and I really mean this, I hope you see Him and know that it wasn't easy to get there, but that every step was necessary. Pushing a broom, filled with this beautiful love and knowledge, and you offered to push a broom for a job. You know what I mean? Filled with this beautiful love of Jesus and this knowledge and this call, and getting almost no pay, teaching every day. I saw that, and I so treasured and died with you, right? And then, like, when you met your beloved, and I knew, oh my gosh, like, there's the vocation. Is that okay to say?
Oh, absolutely.
That for those who are struggling, and it's easy for us to say, right? We found where Jesus told us to land the plane. Priesthood, married life, evangelization, all of that. Hang on. You pound the doors of heaven. Lord, get me where you want me.
Yeah.
And have faith that You can't stop him once you give him permission.
Yeah.
Oh, he'll get you there.
Yeah.
And I treasured you for that. Oh my gosh.
Thanks, Father. That means a lot to me. And one of the things that part of evangelization that I really try to emphasize is that when we talk about evangelization, a lot of people instantly have this image of someone standing up.
Have you accepted Jesus?
Pounding the Bible, street
Yeah.
corner preacher. That's the devil.
Never works.
Don't follow that image, because God has tailored evangelization unique to each individual. I can give you one example, which is kind of interesting. When I first started out at Renewal Ministries, I was actually doing a job that I wasn't excited about. It had a lot to do with spreadsheet work and taking stats, and it was like, ooh, boy, I can't find any meaning in this.
Yeah.
And now I'm a meaning guy. Some people don't struggle with that as much, but what I'm doing with my time, I really need to find some kind of personal meaning, and purpose. So after kind of hitting a breaking point, I went to the church after Mass and just prayed, Lord, am I supposed to be doing this anymore? And I just heard so clearly in my mind, do it. Do the job, pour yourself into it, try it. So I ended up doing that. I ended up taking my really, really boring, unfulfilling little data entry job that I had at that particular time, and I started pouring myself into it, and I started owning it. And I started really enjoying it. And all of a sudden, it was like I started really finding, I'm learning stuff here. I'm actually, I'm in this zone. I'm here to do this, and I'm going to do it well. And I started realizing that it was being noticed by people around me too.
Okay, now.
I was being more joyful. I was sharing the Lord in the moment. Not that I had to per se. I was working.
No,
for
you were
Renewal
banging
Ministries.
numbers.
Exactly.
But
But as that guy, I was still able to all of a sudden realize this is where God wants me to be. He doesn't want me physically here, but mentally someplace else, hoping for something else. Yeah,
Bro, that's tough.
so you might be putting a bolt on a nut somewhere, and that's what your job is. Do it. Pour yourself into it. That's where God has you. He has something there for you. And then I came to realize that's what He had me there for. But it wasn't to stay there.
No.
And he was preparing me for something else. And the skills I learned at Renewal Ministries, beyond the evangelization skills, the data entry skills have served me to this very day, to where had I not done that, I think I'd still be kind of floundering, because I just wouldn't have the ability to do my job as well.
Well, it's Peter in the boat, right? That I always think of this, that there's Peter doing his job. St. Peter, Luke 5, I think. The Gospel of chapter verse 23,
Always
John,
love that one.
Jacob,
Probably my
John,
favorite.
Mark,
Yep.
Luke. And what's he doing? His job. And he's Peter, so he's giving it all he got. That's Peter's gift.
Yeah.
He always brings to the table. You get all of him.
Yeah.
And Jesus gets in his boat to preach while he's cleaning his nets. And that's when the magic happened.
Yeah.
Right? And cleaning nets was an awful, hours-long, heavy-duty task. And what did Jesus tell him to do when he finished cleaning? Throw them back in. And he did it. Right? Remember? We've been hard at it all day and night, but at your word, I will do it. Man, that's the spreadsheet.
Yeah.
Right? That's the paperwork on my desk.
Yeah.
That's the parts of our life that don't bring us pleasure because we don't allow them to.
Yeah.
Because we keep sticking one foot in. Man.
Yeah. It's the depth there. You can just keep on going. People are going to see that, and that's a way of evangelizing. That they see that you do these little things with joy, and the response it evokes is, I want to be more like that.
That's it I'm talking about.
I don't want to, people don't want external things to dictate their happiness. But
Yes.
so often that's what happens to us. I just don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. But what if we enter it with a new spirit, where we enter it saying, I'm doing it for Jesus, and I'm going to pour myself into it. Be present to the moment. And to say, okay, what's the broader, impact of that? We might never know, but those little people who might be watching you at home, or the relatives or the friends who watch you when you don't know you're being watched, they notice these things, and they see, and they will hear from our own mouths what makes us tick.
Yeah.
It's Jesus Christ.
That's right. And that is the thing that I think gets missed about the word holy, right? We got some good questions for you. Say, come Holy Spirit. It means set apart.
Yeah.
And if you're at work, like my pa, 38 years at GM, 35 years at GM, busting his tail every day for us kids, right? I mean, that's it. And now that for the last many years, and I hate this, but I've been boss, I know when you can get that employee that doesn't make drama, that does their job, gives it all they have, and doesn't somehow make it about themselves, your first instinct is to say, what are you doing? It's to say, that person's set apart.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's different than and forgive me, I don't mean this contemptuously, than the hyper-pietistic approach of, well, I'm better than those jerks, right? It's, no, I'm in the boat, and I'm scrubbing these nets. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. We do have questions.
Amen.
Yeah?
Yeah,
You up
let's
for
do
it,
this.
bro?
Let's do it.
Okay, first of all, what's wrong with you?
I got a whole
That's
litany.
from someone named Allison.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, that's my
Allison
wife. Hi,
Pohl.
I think. Yeah.
Oh, this is awkward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a time to address that, actually.
Okay, Rich Bud.
Rich Bud.
We love
Holy
you, Rich.
moly.
How do you not love Rich Bud?
Can we say something about his name real quick for an
Rich Bud.
audience that may not have heard this? Rich Bud
Rich Bud.
has the best name on the planet.
That's science.
Do you know?
That's in the
what
catechism.
Do you know that it actually means, I'm so sorry, I hope this doesn't offend, but now that it's legal, it shouldn't. It means good weed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's rich.
That's some rich
Sparking
bud.
up his doobie for Jesus.
Yes.
That's what
I'm
people
kidding.
say now.
That is so I can sell you some rich bud.
Yeah.
And not that I've ever bought. I've never.
No, he sells. You don't buy. I know. I mean, you buy so you can sell.
Listen.
How else can you work for the church?
Church worker. Gotta make it happen. Okay. So, but when I didn't actually know that, I knew he had a great name, but then I was like, Rich Bud. Like, okay,
You
now.
didn't know about that?
I didn't know
Oh
it
my
until
gosh.
afterward, where I can't remember where I learned it, but it may have been so we had a podcast for a while. One of our listeners. A podcast, yeah, because Rich Bud.
That was clever, what I just did.
I can't believe someone hasn't taken that already.
Oh,
and
someone
ran
has.
with it. You think podcast
You know, some
exists?
16-year-old kid locked down the name like 8 years ago, but he's not done anything with it because he's been too busy smoking weed. And everybody's been trying to buy the name from him, but he won't sell it.
I bet it's my nephew.
Yeah. Just surrounded by Cheetos. Okay,
That explains
so
that.
Rich Bud, I just want to know how Father Joe is tolerating Craig's Padres shirt. I thought only Tiger gear was allowed in the studio. Now, to be clear, usually only Tiger gear or Brewers because of Kevin Nugent, whom we love deeply, right? And if you make me pick a National League team, it's the Brewers. But Padres, because you're a jerk. No?
I think this should be a new theme.
It is a cool shirt.
Well, I only wore it because Padres, Schmadres, it's for the priests. I mean, you have a mascot. How many of us in this room can say we have a mascot?
Yeah.
I mean,
well, I have one. There was, remember that comic, The Losers?
yeah.
Yeah, that was my mascot. Hey!
No argument here. I'm sorry.
I just noticed something.
Yeah.
Okay, so, Rich Bud. Okay, so, somebody, come Holy Spirit, comment. I agree with the direction of the Lansing Diocese. I am close enough to participate in the great things the Lansing Diocese offer that mine does not. I think Lansing Diocese should be the standard, the goal. Well, bless you. Thank you very much.
That was real?
Yeah.
Like
no,
that,
truly,
that was
right
so
there.
awesome. It almost didn't sound real. Thank you.
Yeah, and you know what? If I can throw this out, if I may, no pressure, but for any of you who appreciate what Bishop Earl has facilitated, I think you should let him know.
Yeah.
Because if he gets a letter, someone's ticked.
Yeah.
Nobody writes the bishop that I know of. And I try to. I truly try to text him every once in a while. And I tell him, you're a good bishop. You're not perfect. We don't need a perfect bishop.
He's the first to tell you that.
Yeah.
He's so humble. The first thing he
is.
says when he gets up in front of people is along those lines. Listen, I'm not perfect and I don't get everything right. I've heard him stand up in front of all the priests and apologize.
Yeah.
Not even knowing if he had something to apologize, but he's like, I know I've probably done some things that have really offended you and I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You know, he's just a humble man.
He does that every year. Like our priest, I'm serious. I don't mean to, and again, you guys, I've had some throwdowns with Uncle Earl, but you can't question his heart.
Yeah.
You cannot question his love for the Lord and his desire to serve well. And I would take a bullet for him.
Yeah. His socks, on the other hand,
Are horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm totally kidding. I've never even looked at your socks. He watches this.
No, he doesn't.
Yes.
Does he?
He does not.
Maybe
Really?
not.
Yeah, no.
I don't know, actually.
Okay, wait, let's try. Bishop Earl's the best bishop ever, and I love him. No, but you know he does this every year at Convocation. Never had a bishop do it. But every year, he gets up, and it's not a script. This isn't, I just want to blah, blah, blah. But with all his heart, if I have hurt any of you, please forgive me. And there's a few angry Catholic-ish media things, and they just did it the other day. One of these jerks just did it the other day to get their clicks and their subscription, and they crapped on him. And I thank you. If you feel called, write him a letter and let him know you are a good bishop and we should be on our knees every day thanking God for you. Not that he's perfect. Not that he does everything right. Never burden him with that. But his heart is pure. And blessed are the pure in heart. They'll see God.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
So, I do want to just say, you can email him.
That's true.
When you say write a letter, he does read his emails. And you know, it's hard to even imagine that you'd get too many good emails affirming the work.
Yeah.
We're going into a very difficult time in the Diocese of Lansing, and I really do think it's providential that Father Joe would say this, to reach out to him. You could literally write an email, eboye@dioceselansing.com.
Org, I think.
Org.
I think it's dioceselansing.org.
Yeah. I don't write that much.
B-O-Y. I always screw this up. E-A or E-A?
E-O-Y,
E, like Earl. That should be his first name.
At.
What a coincidence. Eboye, E-B-O-Y-E-A, at dioceseoflansing.org.
Just shout out, and it'll make you feel good.
Yep.
That's mostly what this is about, and
Yeah.
it'll make him feel good.
Yep.
So-
And again, what Craig's talking about, if I may, I don't know, am I diverging too much? Because we do have
We
another really
always
important
diverge.
question.
Well-
Okay, but what's going on, guys, is Catholics stopped making priests. They did. They just stopped making priests. And a lot of the Catholics who've never made a priest are now the ones crapping on him because he has to find a plan to deal with the fact that there aren't any priests. Isn't that ironic? So anyway, he's got a brave plan, and what I really like about it is how flexible it is. It leaves room for us to have more priests, and it leaves room for if there's less.
Bingo.
I am so impressed with this plan.
I wish we could let's have a show on it. Like,
Okay.
I think it would be really
Can we
cool
have Loser
to
Boy
have,
back?
Yeah.
because our diocese is one of the first in the country to undergo this, and
Yeah.
this is whether you're listening from Florida or California or
It's
wherever.
coming to your
It's
diocese.
coming to your diocese soon. It really is, and we're taking a lot of cues from other dioceses, but we're also tailoring it to our own.
Yeah.
But this is. It's something that's it's gonna make some people unhappy because we just have to do things differently to
Yeah.
a certain degree. But I think it's going to actually help us do things better.
Priests are dying.
Yeah.
Priests are dying at an alarming rate.
Yeah.
We're just pushed too hard right now. I'm happy. Look at me. I mean,
there's a lot. Is it because there's a lot of them at the same age?
yes.
Yeah.
Well,
We're
and
topping out.
young priests too.
Okay.
Right, like Father Harrison just the other day put something on Twitter. He's like, And it's true. You look at my class. I'm the only one left in this diocese. I'm the only one left.
Wow.
Not one of them lost their faith in God. Not one of them left the church. Ready for this? Not one of them married. They just got crushed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And some of that is us. Some of this is our own fault as priests. We haven't figured out a way. Celibacy is good and right. I want to be super clear. But we haven't figured out how to adjust to reality of this. There's more Catholics than ever and less priests. And people always, oh, Catholics quit going to church. They still have funerals. They still have weddings. They still have baptisms. And they have the same demands as they would if they were here every Sunday. Right? So, anyway.
Yeah. No, this is good.
In fact, with your permission, no pressure. I mean, I know you're a busy dude. Maybe we could get you back soon.
I'd love
to
that.
talk. Okay.
Yeah.
In the meantime, we have, I think, an important question here. We homeschool our kids. You're beloved.
God bless you.
homeschools.
We used to until
Prison.
we got crushed. And Allison went to prison because of
The meth.
the
Yeah.
one, well,
Or
homeschooling
was it
pushed her too far.
Did she get caught embezzling, or was this about the meth? I know she got caught for
It was
meth.
more about the violence that
Yeah.
was inflicted on the kids, but
Right.
it was an unsafe
happens.
place. But she
Yeah.
was homeschooling. What do you expect?
Right. That principal was tough. We love you, Allison. We homeschool our kids, and I'm looking for good resources for theology for teens. I use a lot of Ascension Press and Life Teen. Okay, you know these. I am wondering if there are any other resources you would recommend.
Yes.
Oh, sweet, my bro.
and yes. Oh, yes. Okay, just launched this week is a website called Real True. I believe it's Real.
Is that Edmundo Reyes?
Yes.
I love
how'd
him
you know that?
so
Yeah,
much.
nice.
He
I want to promote
contacted
him.
us,
Yeah.
right, and I'm just, on Friday
Oh,
we
I'm sorry to get
Yeah,
excited.
go for it.
You guys don't know how much I love this dude.
realtrue.com.
Real True.
I think it's .com or .net. We might have to
Can
look.
you double check, sis?
Or .org. I can't. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got it on my phone. I'm sorry to do this, folks, but I forgot I was going to talk about this because I believe in him.
Yeah.
I believe in him. Edmundo Reyes is a saintly, brilliant,
Brilliant.
and creative man. Like, I don't know how God put all that in one human. What do we got, sis? Kara?
realtrue.org.
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 REAL True. TRUE.org.
Okay.
So
Thank
this
you, bro.
this is an interesting thing because it goes through the different sections and topics of the catechism, really from a very basic level of almost like you don't even have to have an understanding of anything before this. It brings you through the whole catechism topically.
That guy.
In a creative, conversational way. So that's one. I don't want to hang on that too long.
I will. Realtrue.org. Please check it out. I don't mean to be funny.
No.
It's just, I so believe in him.
Yeah.
And I've had hours of talks with him. And it's like you, I walk away and go, how would the church survive without people like him or you? I don't know.
He really is amazing. He's doing amazing work in the AOD, Archdiocese of Detroit.
It's a lesser
Here in the-
diocese.
In the Catholic Church, we have many acronyms: RCIA,
Yeah.
AOD,
CIA,
CIA.
FBI,
Yeah, I mean, all kinds.
albino monk assassins, the AMA.
AMA, yeah.
I read about it in Dan Brown. It must be true.
MIA. Yeah. Anyway, the thing that
I heard you.
the thing that I really want to highlight, there's another website that I really want to get on people's radar, and I'm taking this slow. This is huge. MagisCenter.com.
No, that's easy. MAGIS Center.com.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Teacher Center.
Credible Catholic. This is
Another one?
absolutely so. Credible Catholic is part of the Magis Center.
Okay, groovy.
This is Father Spitzer, Father Robert Spitzer.
I know that name.
Outstanding.
Has he written some books?
Yeah.
I bet you have. Okay, so I know that name, bro.
Ann Arbor has a whole organization based on Father Spitzer's work of the
but
4
it's Ann
levels of
Arbor.
happiness. I know, I get that. But this, I really want to encourage you to check it out, whether you're homeschooling or not, because I check it out on a regular basis. I want to use this stuff. He uses the whole faith and reason thing to basically come to the conclusion, reason to come to the conclusion of faith.
My bro.
So he's an absolute genius for weaving all that. He uses
Magicenter.com.
Magicenter.com, and he uses near-death experiences, for example. And he
Okay.
goes, we have just been missing the boat. We could be using these, because you want to know who people come back saying they met, like 95% of the time? Jesus.
Oh, my Uncle Vince, who was the one reported dead in World War II and came home a few weeks later, but he did have a near-death experience, and he always talked about it. He's with the Lord now. So those, let's stick with those just so we don't overwhelm people.
Okay, because I really have more
I know.
in my bag.
How about
next
this?
time?
Yes. Can we member care? Okay, so what we want to encourage you, I'm going to push for realtrue.org, magicenter.com. Okay, those are a couple great resources. And if you would, please remember to write Uncle Earl, right? If
Yes.
you're Diocese of Lansing, and to me, where his genius is in his hiring.
And order yours today.
And don't forget to use the code. Craig and Joe convinced me to buy this, so please give them some money for their ministries. Okay.
What time is it?
Holy crap. So we have 2 things
Yep.
we have to accomplish before these people give up on us,
Yes.
because they don't want to watch children. And we are children. Although once you married, I did notice you got more mature. Did you hear that?
What is that?
That's my Alexa.
Oh. What?
That was my Alexa.
I thought so.
I got a package.
It woke your dad up, though.
I got
That
a
was-
package. So, 2 things. First, we're going to do speed round, because apparently we didn't do it last time. Okay.
I'm not good at this game.
That's okay. If you screw it up, we'll never trust you with anything again. No pressure. And then second, you've got a big announcement, apparently. Or is this our announcement?
Yeah.
We have an announcement. Wonder Twin.
There. We'll announce it like this. Okay. Don't ever
We
do that
this.
again. It doesn't wash up.
Just note that I've never, ever told you to stop.
She just told us to stop. We were doing a Thelma and Louise. We were going to go off the cliff.
That's what we were holding hands. Just we're going for it.
Did you ever see Thelma and Louise?
Yes.
Still creeps me out today.
Really? That's a great ending.
Oh, please.
Are you serious?
The dude ending, but they put chicks in it.
Yes. But that's perfectly Hollywood.
Oh yeah, that's good.
Okay, so you know how speed round goes.
No.
I ask you a series of questions, A or B, and you pick one.
Okay.
And if you pick the wrong one, it gets real.
All right, let's do this.
No, this is all about your preferences. Just to let God's people know.
Yes.
Okay, so first of all, car or truck?
Truck,
Italian food or Mexican food?
Italian,
Steak or fish?
steak,
Baseball or football?
football,
Football or basketball?
football,
Chevy or Ford?
Chevy,
Yes. Text or phone call?
text for sure.
Movie or book?
Movie,
iPhone or Android?
Android,
Alaska or Florida?
Florida,
Florida or Texas?
Florida,
You'd pick Florida over Texas?
way.
I always think Texas is our tribe, bro.
Beaches, right? Beaches.
It is.
I don't think you should call them that.
But no, yeah, I don't think you can say that. But the point is, I was made for the beach.
Okay,
And
that's
Texas
true.
doesn't have as good of beaches, and it's kind of like, well, we have an agreement down there. I'm supposed to spend a certain amount of time
Yeah,
on
I
the
understand.
beach.
I understand.
Yeah.
And all those swimsuit companies pay you.
Yeah.
Is my understanding.
Yeah. Work for the church. Yeah. Hold on, whoa!
Oh, sorry,
You're
I'm in
convulsing.
Okay. Oh,
That's-
okay.
I get that.
Craig. Okay. Coke or Pepsi?
Coke.
Facebook or Twitter?
Oh,
You don't care.
uh-uh.
Cat or dog?
Cat.
Really?
I'm sorry.
Oh, but barn cat. You don't
Barn
mean
cat.
like
No, not
pet
house cat. No. House dog. Yes. Barn cat.
We were the same way.
Okay.
Right, because again, we have barn dogs, we have barn cats.
Yeah.
And the barn dogs you fed when they were hungry, but usually they got their own stuff. But the cats, you never had to feed. They killed and ate everything, including the dog.
We've got 2 barn cats and they're great. I missed that last part that you said there.
It's true, it's true.
No, it's they're zero maintenance, maintenance, and that's what we need in our life right now.
Yes.
Now there'll come a time where I'll probably be a dog guy, but like I can't go on vacation or visit my wife's family and have to get a babysitter for the dog because that's what is required.
I get you.
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a dog because my kids were afraid that I was going to be lonely. But
She's
having
praying
told
for
me
lonely.
Before the
She's
dog,
praying for loneliness.
I would have assured them. So now I'm stuck with the dog.
Oh.
I love him. His name's Charlie, and Charlie just doesn't care. I've never met a dog like this. Charlie doesn't care. And he's never in the house. He goes outside and he just smokes all day and chases squirrels. And I'm like, Charlie, let me come pet you. He's like, no thanks. You're a loser. I love Charlie. Charlie could care less. I've never met a dog like this.
He wants in. When he wants out, he wants out. We have no influence.
There's no relationship beyond that. Human, I require to go outdoors.
Sounds like every cat I've ever known.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Charlie is a cat with charm.
That'd be nice every once in a while.
I just thought of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Where were we? MSU or some lesser school?
MSU.
Cake or pie?
Pie.
Okay. It's tough, isn't it?
Ooh, that's a
I think
hard
that's
one.
the toughest one. But in the end, I decide I'm cake every time.
Oh.
The more I think about it, the more I'm cake.
I have more cake than I have pie, but when I have pie, I probably enjoy it more than cake. But maybe it's because I don't have it as much. I don't know.
Right. Now let me ask you this, German farm boy.
Ach yeah.
Mincemeat pie, yes or no?
I don't know if I've ever had it.
Okay, we're not friends anymore. Thanks for tuning in.
That's my parents' fault.
Next time I'll
I
get
know
someone
Mom and Dad
decent.
I know Mom and
Okay.
Dad are watching. Why didn't you ever serve me mincemeat pie?
Why do you hate your son?
Oh no,
loves
let's not
you.
go there. Let's not go there. What? No, no. Mm-mm. Okay.
No?
Strike that last question. Why didn't you ever serve me mincemeat pie?
Or why do you hate your son? No.
No.
They don't think that's funny.
No. How much time do we have? Because
they'll answer it.
there will be a stream. You'll have to scroll. But
I thought you were
concerned.
saying I would hurt their feelings.
No,
I would feed
This is their
something you don't want fed.
opportunity. Yes.
Okay.
This is an opportunity they
So my
cannot.
mom, who was not a great cook by any stretch, right, she never claimed to be, but she would make mincemeat pie, and I miss it every day. I've never had its equal. There was a parishioner here who's a phenomenal pie person, and Bruce made this unbelievable mincemeat pie, and it was good, but it was different than Mom's, and I don't know what that means.
So is it like a pasty? Would you put it on
it
there?
straight up as a pie, and I don't think there's actually any meat in it. I really don't. Papa, do you remember, is there meat in the mincemeat pie? No.
I've never eaten one.
Do you remember the Edler, that German booze we would drink, the little aperitif? It was yellow. Dan Spitzley used to make it. It was green or yellow. You make it and you put it in the crick in a barrel.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's what it tastes like. Ish. No, you know what I'm talking about, right?
Well, I put a lot of things in a crick and a barrel. My brother being one
No,
of them.
you've done this, right? I drank it with you at Spitzley's house.
I don't have
Bro.
a memory of this, but maybe there's a reason for that. I don't know.
Yeah,
I
well, you
drank
don't
it.
drink a lot of it. It's like 2 fingers because it's straight gasoline. But no, come on! Like when we went down to the creek, this was in Westphalia or Fowler. I can't remember which. Where does Spitz live?
He lives in between, kind of.
Okay.
Yep.
But there was a creek, and he had a little barrel, and it sat in there for a year in the creek. And there were like 10 of them. Like clearly a lot of people were doing this. And he brought it out, and I might be remembering it wrong. This was 10 years ago. But he had his batch from the previous year, and it was a green color, and it had a very juniper taste.
Wow.
Bro.
I think you need to have Spitz on this show.
I love him.
Although, can you get a frame
Yeah.
wide enough? I mean,
This
like,
dude was NFL worthy.
oh yeah.
And the Lord had other plans for him, truly. Like, he was a monster offensive lineman. And when God made him male, Dan is what he pictured. Right? I mean it. Do you ever think that? Spitz is what God pictured. Like, to me,
Yeah.
that's what St. Joseph was like.
Yeah.
Yes, I could crush you like a bug, but I never would.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, okay. What were we talking about?
Nothing.
Euchre or pinochle?
Euchre.
Hot dog or hamburger?
Hamburger.
Highway or back road?
Back road.
Bacon or sausage?
Bacon.
Hiking or biking?
Viking.
Pool or beach?
Pool.
Me too. Well, I want to be in a pool looking at the beach.
I could arrange
There's
that.
nothing alive in a pool that could kill and eat me
True.
that I'm aware of.
Yeah.
I mean, if there's like an invisible monster in there, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I lost already.
Yeah.
New car or classic car? That's tough, isn't it?
There are just it's too hard. I love cutting technology.
Yes.
But as you know, 1-800-Oculus. I love it. I love
Zuckerberg.
it.
I'm sorry, I panicked.
But the classic. There's something.
Is anybody
in-
watching anymore? Has everyone left? I'm sorry, I just realized this. We have such a good time together and we forget. Like, there's people we're supposed to be talking to. These good people whom I love.
Oh, see, it says mincemeat is a mixture of chopped dried fruit, distilled spirit species, and sometimes beef suet, beef or venison.
Okay.
So it could be.
Dad, why have we never? Dad. Why have we
You
never
can
had
put
mincemeat?
mutton in there. That's what made me think of it. I think you can put mutton in there. I mean, that's German. Oh, stop. Okay.
Wrap
so
it up.
now, Craig is a terrible person, and we're so sorry about his childishness while I stayed focused and on task.
We have a big announcement.
We have a
Huge
big
announcement. Huge.
Huge.
Like
Why don't you do
Sputnik.
it? It's like Sputnik. It's spherical, but pointy at parts. Okay. Do you
So-
remember that movie?
Do I? One of the most underrated. Oh, this one right here.
This camera?
As the director of New Evangelization for the Diocese of Lansing, I am extremely excited to announce that we are going to at least start out piloting a new idea, a partnership of sorts with Father Joe Krupp.
Oh, this blanket?
Wait, what's that called?
That's not a blanket. What is that?
Why did you call it a
I
blanket?
don't know. What is that? A camera.
Yes.
Okay.
Where
I call
we
that
want to
a
bring Joe in Black to you. We're going to start hosting shows. We're going to start hosting shows in local eateries. Yes, not just pubs, but eateries. It's going to be like at 12 noon, 12 to 1. We're going to make it so that you can come to the show live. It will be Father Joe. I'm not going to be there. Or no, I'll be there. I'll be there, but I won't be sitting with you, I don't think. Even though there's been a great request for me to actually be the host, that is awkward.
That was
I'm
out
sorry.
loud. Just so you know, like everyone heard you. I heard you. The audience heard you. Dad heard you. The dog, who doesn't. Look at how you've distressed him.
I'm sorry.
He almost moved.
I think he almost did something else too.
Yesterday he almost chased me out of the studio. And I think I figured out what it was.
I'm so sorry. This is very hard for
Oh,
me.
it's grim. I'm serious. We had a Bible study in Hudson one time. He cleared out the front row. And he doesn't move. Like, look at him. He
And
just
the
throws a
dog will
handprint.
be there too. And so you can come to this we're going to try and work with local parishes to bring Father Joe Krupp in person to just get people around for the conversation and the fun. You know, it's a good combination between
go
fun.
Fridays.
Father Joe Fridays.
On the go.
On the go with Father Joe. And we're going to try and organize this. When it's going to happen, we still have to talk about this, but we just want to get that out there to kind of support our local parishes, the local restaurants, and just engage more people, because I'll be honest with you, this is the most fun I've had all week.
Oh, cool.
Oh.
I love spending time with you. You're
This
just
is
one of
awesome.
the best humans I know. We
Ditto.
should get Spitz on here.
Yeah.
We need to get Rich Bud, and we need to get Spitz on here. And is there like an adult who could well, Spitz is the adult.
Well, is there any way we could get Spitz to smoke Rich Bud? Like, it could just be
Oh,
like
yeah,
just
he could
smoke
crush him like a bud.
Yeah.
Yeah. For Jesus.
We could call it that, like spit smokes rich bud, but it's actually about
Spit smokes the bud.
Smokes rich bud.
Smokes a rich bud. Okay. See, you guys with your wacky weed humor,
You don't
it's
get it.
not appropriate.
I'm sorry. Sorry about that.
So horrified.
It is legal, though.
Carrie's pointing at her watch and dying.
Was
inside.
that enough? Was that enough information
Yeah.
about the partnership?
We'll continue.
Let's extrapolate a little bit more, but I'm super excited about this.
Extrapolate the
Yeah.
cyclicalities. I don't know. I just made that up.
1-800 Facebook, Craig Pohl.
Right. And don't forget the, what do you call it, coupon code?
Yep, Craig
Joe
Pohl.
and Craig said I should really buy this, so please give them a discount.
Just contact Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah,
Direct.
at Mark Zuckerberg. It'll get to him.
Well, this and you might not know it, but what is happening here is we're leading this whole thing toward, in the future, not the far future, when we host a Joe in Black in virtual reality.
Yeah. And in that virtual reality, I'll have hair
Yeah, oh, you'll be whatever you want.
with chiseled abs.
So I'll be sitting right here in the studio.
I'll have the resurrected
You'll all
body.
be right here. Yeah,
I'll have the resurrected body.
Zuckerberg's making it all possible.
Because he loves God. I can't even say he loves God without, like, puking in my mouth.
Hold on.
What?
Does he not?
I don't know. I mean, let's give him a chance. I want Zuckerberg in this seat next week
Done.
to answer that question.
Done. Let me just give him a call. Whoops.
Does Zuckerberg love God? I can't say. I don't know.
One way to find out.
One way to find out.
So,
Get him
Mark,
here.
accept the challenge. What are you afraid of? I whipped off my glasses and my hearing aid popped out. It totally sold out the macho. Any macho I was going for got gone when my hearing aid flew out. Well, we need to wrap this up. I don't know if
that was
anyone
good.
is still watching. We love you guys. Thanks for putting up
guys
with
are
our
awesome.
silliness. And I hope you see in the 3 minutes where we talked about God, what an outstanding man we have here. And we'll get you back. We'll talk about the bishop's plan, which we're not supposed to call it. What are we supposed to call it? Realigning communism
resources.
for... What is that? I can't remember.
Realign resources.
Realigning resources, which if the government does it, it means they're going to take your income. But when the church does it, it's to maximize our potentiality.
I
just
nothing
made that
right
up.
now.
Right on the spot.
It sounds like there's a little bit of negativity or something
No,
wrapped
I'm
into-
excited about this. No, truly. Did I sound negative?
I think it's just that.
I mean, realigning communism is...
Right, if the government does that, there's camps. Right, there's a train that takes you to a re-education center. When the church does it, it's more bang for your buck. I've done something horrible. I love you all. I tried. Okay, I want to be serious. I'm serious. I love this. I think this is a great idea, what the church is doing. Craig is no longer my friend. You are my friend if you do what I tell you. That's why I still call Craig a slave. Speaking of slaves, how did we forget the beautiful saint today? The slave of the slaves, right? St. Peter Claver. Do you know about this? Oh, I wish we had time. Okay, so trust me, the dude rocked. I'm going to wrap us up with prayer. While I'm praying, if Craig starts twitching and making noises, it's because the operation didn't work. I look at this camera, right?
Or they put the wrong soul in me.
Right.
And that is not my fault. I want my money back. It's not right.
They put in me the soul of a Scottish lord. I now pray like this. Lord Jesus Christ. Okay, all right. In the name, I'm so sorry, Jesus. Okay, in the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Oh, Lord, thank you for Craig. Thank you for your hand guiding his life. And as someone who has been blessed to call him a brother for over 20 years, I thank you for his yes to you in the dark days. And I thank you for the joy you brought him in such an amazing bride and such wonderful children. Thank you for showing him his vocation and for how his fidelity to that vocation makes us all better. May we be faithful to our vocation. so that whether we're doing the seemingly most insignificant task or the grandest thing of all, that whatever it is gets all of us, because that's how you love, with all of yourself. There's so many people who don't know you, and I don't know what percentage of that's our fault, Lord, but we're sorry. And we ask you to draw people to you, and we ask that you help us to know that you are calling us to share you with others, not in a ritualized, stylized manner, but just by sharing our love. This is what works for me. I think it'll work for you. We fret about so many people we love, and we worry about so many circumstances, Lord. So we give them all to you right now, and we love you, and we trust you. And may Almighty God bless all of you, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Amen.
Thank you so much for tuning in. We will continue with our show tomorrow, live from the studio, virtually. And what are you doing now? Are you like killing aliens for Jesus? Are you okay?
This is great.
So we'll be here tomorrow, and then we'll get this guy back to talk about. Now, do you feel food going in your stomach? Are you now full?
I'm not coming back.
Thanks for tuning in. See you tomorrow. Is it over?
Oh, it's never over.